Hello and welcome to Elite Dangerous Survivor. My name is Nathaniel Page and I'd like to welcome you to the second of my video diaries. In yesterday's video diary I spoke about game books in general, how they work, how they're different from a novel and so on. So I thought it would be fitting for the second update, second video diary, to talk about Survivor in particular and what it is that I have planned for a game book in the Elite Dangerous universe. I spoke yesterday about my desire to make this game book quite open, to give you a lot of freedom of choice, because I think that's very important in the Elite Dangerous world. Elite and later Frontier and Frontier First Encounters were all about freedom. You weren't scripted in terms of what you had to do. You could ignore anything that was going on in the galaxy if you wanted to do that, and just do your own thing. And I'd like to do the same thing with Survivor. This means that it will be quite different from many game books that exist, in fact virtually all game books that have previously been written, which whilst they don't have the same linearity of plot that a novel would have, they do have quite a heavy structure to them. And Survivor is going to be quite different from that. It's going to go away from that mould, and it's going to hopefully really give you the feeling that you are in the same you have the same level of freedom that you do in Survivor as you would in the Elite Dangerous world. Now, I spoke about three different career paths that you could follow in yesterday's video diary. One of those was trying to amass wealth, one of them was to gain a military career, one of them was to become a mercenary, and so on. Those career paths exist in Survivor, but you don't choose them specifically. So, at the start of the book, there's a number of objectives that the game book recommends you can go for. One of these objectives will be to amass 1,000,000 credits. Another objective will be to attain the military ranking of, or the combat rating of Elite Dangerous. Another will be to hit a specific objective which you can actually pick up in the book in terms of a mercenary objective. Somebody gives you a quest to do, and there will be one or two others as well which are somewhat less easy to find. You can choose which of these you want to do once the game has started. You don't have to choose it before you start, and in fact you can try to achieve more than one of those objectives in the same game, and it would be possible to do that. So the intent is to give you a different levels of difficulty in the way that you play the game, so that you can either take the easy route and try to achieve one of the multiple objectives, or many of them at the same time. So that should give you more of a sense of freedom in terms of what you're doing than if you simply had, this is your quest, go off and achieve it. The risk around that approach is that the Survivor world might not feel structured at all. You might feel lost, it might feel boring, it might really feel as though you're doing the same things in the game book over and over and over again. So in order to alleviate that, I'm going to combine together a feature which I introduced in my gamebook Forest of Dreams and a feature that was introduced in Frontier First Encounters. The feature which I'm going to introduce from Forest of Dreams was a time elapsed box, so certain actions in the game, flying from one planet to, or one solar system to another solar system, will take time, and you have a year in which Survivor is going to be spent over. So at the end of a year, we'll see what objectives you've reached. The other objective, the other part that I'm going to take from Frontier First Encounters was the journals which they introduced. So the Federal Times Journal, the Imperial Herald, and so on. I won't have all 5 of them as there were in First Encounters. I'll probably take one of the military ones and probably Frontier News, because I find those should be able to give me the range of options that I need. So what will happen is that every 30 days, and that's controlled by your time elapsed box in the game book. Every 30 days, you have the option, if you've subscribed to these journals, to read the new articles that have been written. Having read those, if you want to, and the choice is completely yours, if you want to, you can go to the systems which are mentioned in those journals and do that part of the plot of the story. Do enough of these and you might find that the gamebook feels very different from if you decided to completely ignore them and follow the simple objective that had been set for you at the beginning in the suggestions in the introduction. Of course, the idea is to try to keep all of everything as closely aligned as possible, so that you have a good chance of success in achieving a particular mission that's happened from reading something in the journal if you have spent enough time amassing money to be able to afford a ship, or to have gained a particular military ranking to gain you access to something, and so on. So it'll all be interconnected. Some things won't be possible to do unless you've done other stuff as well. And that's the objective of the game book, is to try to work out what the best way is to go through the game book, and therefore achieve as many of the objectives, or preferably all of the objectives, but perhaps in different games, as possible. So that will be the level of freedom that I hope to introduce. It will mean that there are different parts of the book that you can spend more time or less time in. So initially you'll be starting off in the system of Lave, um, kind of tradition, I think. You can spend time flying between those worlds, trading if you want to. You can go to sign up to join the military, and therefore get far more predefined quests. So it'll take you through things. Can you achieve a particular objective by making the right decisions in order to achieve that? But you're being more guided there if you choose that option. Do you want to become more of a lone wolf mercenary type, so achieve a very general objective? Um, it's not going to be this, but find the dark wheel might be the sort of thing that you got there. So some of the objectives that you get in the game book won't be evident from right at the start. You'll have to find those. That's part of the excitement around Survivor. Achieve one particular objective, and that will get you to a different ending, which may be satisfying, may not be, depending on whether or not you like my style, as it were. So that's my intent around the freedom in Survivor, and hopefully for those of you who have seen game books before, you can see how I'm trying to bring together the essence of the Elite universe with the rather tighter definitions that previously exist in game books, and try to achieve a happy medium between all of it. Anyway, that's all I want to say for now. Hope you enjoy that update. Tomorrow's update will be talking about combat in Survivor, and how I hope to achieve something there which is simple but engaging. Thanks for listening. Talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye.